I know some of you been waiting for this. And let me start by saying to those who are new to my channel, my criticism of Don Lemon is not a recent thing. It's been probably about almost decade thing. Now, if anybody's followed me before the whole Bill Cosby thing, I've been critical of Don Lemon. Doing the Mike Brown thing, to the Trayvon Martin thing, to when he was on the weekends. A lot of people forget that Don Lemon first went to CNN. He was being bumped around. Remember, T.J. Holmes and a few other brothers were still at CNN, right along Roland Martin, and Don Lemon was given the weekend slot. And Don Lemon wanted to play Mr. Pro Black for a while until he realized that it wasn't getting him anywhere, and he realized he couldn't keep it up because he knew that he was sleeping white. And what I mean by sleeping white, let me show you so y'all understand that Don Lemon is a gay black man. Now, before, it was just speculation or suspicion at that time until he decided to come out of the closet right along with Anderson Cooper. If you remember when Anderson Cooper came out and told the world that he was gay as well, and all of a sudden Anderson Cooper, just like Don Lemon, become even more insufferable than they are. And it's not to criticize Anderson Cooper, because I can easily do videos criticizing him, but this is more about Don Lemon and his treachery and whatnot. But anyways, Don Lemon was on a weekend show, and he used to have 10 wives on a regular. Like every weekend, 10 wives is on there, some black person. Until this one brother, I think he was from South Carolina, North Carolina, I know somewhere in Carolina, decided he wanted to run for a congressman or a Senate seat. Now, the brother wasn't well educated, and obviously he decided to run for himself or somebody put him up to. But Don Lemon talked about the brother on television. And the way Don talked about, so like, this black man is embarrassing me as a black man. He was on that shtick. And I get as a time that sometimes we got people in our community that do things that's embarrassing, but the way Don Lemon presented as if it was a personal embarrassment to him. And I started noticing that Don Lemon was throwing low-key criticisms at the black community. He wasn't defending the black community, he was criticizing the black community. He was sort of like saying, it's you Negroes, and make it tough for a Negro like me to get ahead, because I always got an answer about y'all. And I'm sitting there saying, you supposed to be a professional. You supposed to be able to tune this stuff in and out and keep it moving. But the thing is that after a while, he decided that it'd be good if he go against the grain. So when the Trayvon Martin thing was going on, he was criticizing the black community and criticizing Trayvon Martin for what he wore. And when he was getting criticism, he said, let me go out here and go find somebody that I can get to defend me and whatnot. So he went out and sought out Bill Cosby. Now, this is why I say it's with friends like these. Bill Cosby was being criticized for a speech he gave almost a decade earlier, about the pound cake speech, as everybody like to call it. And Cosby was pointing out that there's a segment in our community who don't give a damn, who don't want anything, who want to sit back and just do whatever, and then when they get caught, blame everybody. And a lot of us in the community have criticized blacks like that. Malcolm X, Mr. Farrakhan, Reverend Jackson, Reverend Wright, we've all done it at some point. Well, because Cosby did it, and he did it on Meet the Press or whatever other show that was popular at that time, he got criticized from those in the black community who make money off some of our people's stupidity or just rightness. So Don Lemon said, well, let me go get covered where he can go back and say, well, Cosby said it. Well, Cosby got on TV and he did what an elderly black man or older black man would do. And a lot of people need to understand the context of what Cosby was talking about. Now, I had issue with it. I had major issue with it because Don Lemon was using Cosby to cover his cooning behavior. What Don Lemon was doing was talking to a Bill Cosby whose son was murdered. Don Lemon was talking to a Bill Cosby who was an older, frustrated black man, knowing that he contributed to many organizations and causes, and he saw how people have been miseducated. So, and plus, let's just be honest, that some of our brothers and sisters do dress inappropriately, but they was using that to be critical of Trayvon. Basically, Don Lemon was saying Trayvon brought his own death on himself, using the same type of points that Fox News was using. Remember, Don Lemon was defending Bill O'Reilly and Geraldo Rivera when they was criticizing Trayvon Martin. And then when it happened to Ferguson and Mike Brown, Don Lemon went down there and made it like, ooh, you smelling marijuana. And today, talking about marijuana, they hope it get passed as law, you know what I mean? But just a few years earlier, you was criticizing the community and then saying that they interviewed one of Mike Brown's friends, and he knew the brother wasn't well educated. He knew that the video that CNN was recording him was going to be twisted and used. Because there were witnesses that said that Mike Brown did have his hands up in the air. And Don Lemon was down there criticizing. I remember when everybody was talking about Don Lemon. Remember when me and Willie D, Willie D came out talking about Don Lemon. He's called Don Lemon and all that stuff. Remember all of us was criticizing him? But Don knew it. Don didn't care. He knuckled down. And then Don Lemon, the guy who used Bill Cosby to give him cover, turned around and stabbed Cosby in the back even further. When these white women came out and said, Bill Cosby harassed me. Now, Don Lemon is about 10 years older than me. So Don Lemon was old enough in the 1970s to see Bill Cosby, when he was popular, back then, doing his specials and things. He was old enough to remember seeing Cosby go to places and do documentaries and things of that nature. So when they was talking about Bill Cosby, Don Lemon said, well, you know what? In the 1970s, it's kind of impossible for Mr. Cosby to have this power that y'all say he had. He legitimized those white women that was on TV. See, other people just talked about it and laughed and made jokes about it. When Don gave them white women a platform, you gave other people and said, okay, you know what? That's all you have to say that he did it. And I told y'all, I said, Don Lemon is going to catch hell for this. Yeah, Kenan Thompson joined in, and yes, Hannibal Buress kicked it off. But Don Lemon legitimized it. For we can sit there and talk about what white America did, we can talk about those in black America. Yes, Professor Dyson, Wendy Williams, D.L. Hughley, and many others threw Cosby on the bus. But Don Lemon legitimized just a few days after Hannibal Buress did his thing, because I remember the next day on HuffPost Live, Mark Lamont Hill, another dude that's questionable, they rumor that he's homosexual, was on it with Tommy Davidson talking about Bill Cosby. And Tommy Davidson said, I wouldn't have done that. He said, why would you do that? Why would you go to his hometown and attack him for something he said years ago? And I remember as soon as that happened, like literally overnight, the news media, Hollywood turned on Cosby. And I told y'all, I said, if this ever was to go to trial, which eventually did, I said Cosby would not have a fair trial. And Don Lemon kept asking me, so the young Turks, as I call them, the young and hypocrites and young racists, did a video that when Don Lemon did ask a question about why did she resist Cosby advances, they got mad at him for even suggesting, because people in the community started saying, hey, yo, Don, if this Cosby, this woman, why this woman didn't bite or kick or scream, why did they go back? And it wasn't just one white woman. It was a multitude of white women that claimed that they had a relationship with Cosby, but claimed it was rape. He gave them some. And none of them went to the police department. None of them went to the doctor. None of them told anybody. And they used today's talking points to give cover for something they did. But what it was is these women thought they was going to sleep with Bill Cosby, or be around Bill Cosby, or never even been around Bill Cosby, and say he did something. Because there was other women that lied and said, Don Lemon easy said, you know what, we did some research and we found out there's some women out here. But he didn't even post that on his channel, because he had orders from Jeff Zucker, that hey, you stay on this path. And everybody followed. And then when everybody started following, Don slowly slid back, because Don ain't stupid. Don been on social media. Don know there's some black folk and some white folk. Not a lot of white, but a lot of blacks was like, yo, man, what are y'all doing? But see, after a while, the Hollywood coons came out, and some of those pro-black coons came out, and they was throwing shade at Cosby. Everybody kept talking, well, Cosby is money. First of all, Mr. Cosby gave money. It wasn't his thing to just keep giving money to black organizations and we're not meeting our responsibilities. or gonna put himself out on line. Man, it's 80 some years, was 70 something when the stuff started up. Man, it's 83 now. The case, the first time it was bogus, but then he still paid out money because the lawyer said just give him money and go away, and she went away. But Hannibal Buress did, and then you had Judd Apatow and them, and you had to ask yourself, why was Judd Apatow, Leah Dunham, a certain group in Hollywood leading this charge? Why was Don Lemon and Kenan Thompson and Hannibal Buress, but Don Lemon especially, he was the brother in the media that facilitated it. See, we don't talk about Hannibal Buress. We talk about Hannibal Buress being the guy that told the jokes and come to find out that him and Hannibal and Judd Apatow was cool with each other. But Don Lemon is the one that gave all the women a chance to get on TV and spread their lives. And then people like myself start pointing out inconsistencies about it. You had other people come in and try to defend them. That's when all of a sudden Don Lemon started interviewing these black women that were known liars or watched them as actors. I'm like, why is this dude giving these people this room to go out here and do this? He didn't do this when Trump was running. He didn't do this with anybody else. Yeah, when Kevin Spacey was accused later on a few years down the line, yeah, he came out and criticized Kevin Spacey. When they was going after Kanye West, he talked about Kanye West like a dog in mixed company. And I said, right then, just like I said, way back when the Cosby started, I said, at some point, karma going to bite Don Lemon on the ass. And when his sister died, he didn't act like a brother that lost his sister. I don't even think they had a real close relationship because he never really talked about his sister. He talked about his mama. He never talked to me. So when people say, well, damn, Don Lemon kept going, like it didn't bother him. Remember when his sister died, he kept going. But we see him tip by other people, and usually they non-black. But every now and then, Don Lemon want to remember he's a black man because he's getting criticized by Donald Trump or people at Fox. But remember, he used 8 million people at Fox when he was criticizing Trayvon Martin and his family. The people you work with at CNN was out there trying to make Rachel Gentile, Trayvon Martin's best friend, out to be a stereotype of heavy-set, dark-skinned black woman. Remember that? Don Lemon was a part of that, and a lot of us tend to forget that. So now Don Lemon is getting his you-know-what moment. He's being accused of sexual harassment. A bartender last year said that Don Lemon assaulted him or something to that effect. Now, I don't know if Don Lemon did it. Now, normally, I would give cats the benefit of the doubt like Don Lemon. But Don Lemon helped destroy other black men who've gotten in mixed company and talked about black men like dogs. And then had the nerve, beginning of this year, to try to mess with Kevin Hart. Remember the whole thing with this year was the last, no, was it last year or this year? See, time, it flew, no, it was this year, wasn't it? See, in time it flew so I can't remember if it was this year or last year now. Because this year's gone by pretty fast. It was this year, right? If I'm mistaken, I apologize. Remember when he went on a tear about Kevin Hart? Kevin needs to explain himself to us. Well, Don, you need to explain something to us. Because gay men are known to be a little bit more aggressive at times when they shouldn't be. Gay men are known to lie and exaggerate about things. Now, before y'all start saying I'm making the stereotypes about gay people, let me remind y'all, beginning of this year, Jussie Smollett. Remember when we heard about the shit with Jussie Smollett? Look how chummy Don and Jussie Smollett is. Don turned around and threw Jussie under the bus because everybody else was doing it. Don took it personally. How dare Jussie get up here and do that, and lie, blah, 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 blah. He's wrong. He just made it harder for everybody. One person was made it harder for everybody. Okay, fine. But anyways, remember I told y'all, you've been following me, I said, it's a possibility Jussie could be lying. And some people say, well, why would you say that? And I say, because there's gay men and gay women, but gay men in the community have been known to exaggerate, especially the last 20 years or so, about certain assaults. We all know about the Matthew Shepard being beat to death and it was basically tied to a fence post. We know that story. We know there have been some gay people that got their ass kicked here and there. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm not saying that there's not human beings out there that beat up people because they're gay. I'll be disingenuous. But we also know there are gay men black and white, that exaggerate certain instances because some dudes, they go too far. We've been at clubs, we've been out in restaurants where gay dudes will come over and flirt, and you try to be as respectful as you can be. I was in high school. This dude I was in high school with used to do that. We knew he was gay. He didn't hide it. I mean, he was flaming. But every now and then he'd try, like, hey, dude, hey man, stay in your zone, man. Stay in your area, man. I don't get down like that. And it wouldn't stop until you threaten to kick the ass or you knock him on the ass. You gay bashing. You hit me because I'm gay. And you're like, nah, man, I hit you because you wouldn't stop. And so when the Jussie Smollett thing happened, I said he could have very been attacked. He could be lying. Anybody remember the initial video? I said it's a possibility. But then when all the stuff started coming out, and this stuff is still sketchy, I'm still willing to give the brother the benefit of the doubt because I know how the Chicago Police Department get down. I know how the media get down. But at the same time, you know, it's a possibility the brother could be lying his ass off. Just like Don Lemon could have very well assaulted this bartender. Remember, Don Lemon was criticizing Kevin Spacey. And what happened? L.A. bar. Because that's usually when they pick up dudes. L.A. bar. Or they wait till they go to a club. Or they wait till a dude is at dinner. That's why I never go out to dinner by myself. Because people get the wrong idea. You know, and people are like, oh, you know, he's single, you know. Man, I get takeout. I'm being honest with you. Because at some point, straight dudes, we've been hit on by gay dudes. And I don't know why they would. I know why they do it. Because a lot of them they think all black men or men in general, especially black men, are on a down low. And those of us raised in 2-parent households, I'm talking about old school 2-parent households where our daddy saw things at a young age and said, oh no, I ain't gonna have that with my son. Ain't none of that bullshit. Ain't none of that mama coddling you, grandmama coddling you shit, thinking that shit is cute. Now you go outside and play. Now if it's in you, it's in you. But I digress. I didn't mean to get off on a tangent. But it's just the way I feel. I mean, I don't think the shit is normal. Now it's just the way I feel. That doesn't mean that I think that the people are bad. But it's just the thing is, some of them go too far. And they like to project on straight men that we're over aggressive when it comes down to women and whatnot. And now that Don Lemon is now being accused of harassment, and I'm like, karma came back. I told you, I said it may take a day, it may take a week, it may take a month, it may take 5, 10, 20, but it's gonna come back. And like I said, Don can be innocent as a motherfucker, but I hope he ain't. I hope the God he did it. I hope the God they got proof. Hope that he loses his job. As you can probably gather, I can't stand Don Lemon. I didn't like his ass when he worked here in Chicago because he came across as an arrogant Negro. Because he quick, I remember on TV said, well, Bill, I remember he talked about light skin. Well, you know, I was growing up light skin. You know, everybody thought da. Y'all, cats like them like to say things on TV and throw it out there and don't give context. That's why we always, as a people, always arguing because some of these handkerchief heads out here that get on TV, throw crap out there. Remember, this dude has sat back and called Kanye all kinds of names. Kanye got a mental issue. Documented mental issue. He's an idiot. He's a jackass. He's stupid. He's an embarrassment. Well, Don, you're an embarrassment. You and so many of these Negroes get out here and y'all talk about your people, mixed company. You put stories out there, and when people question the media, well, you know, you're supposed to question the media. We're here to give you answers. We're here to... No, you're right. I watch enough TV enough to know when you guys are mind screwing the public. See, y'all want to break us up into these different groups: Republican, Democrat, straight, gay, whatever. Y'all want to. That's what y'all want to do, and y'all throw stuff out there, especially about the black community. And let me tell you something. You talk about CNN as liberal. There's no such thing as liberal when it comes or conservative come out of black folk. It's just that we're the villains of the story. I've sat back and I've watched CNN, I've watched Fox, I watched MSNBC, I watched the local news in my home state. I watched the big three during the evening. Y'all set out to make the black man the boogeyman on everything, and then when other groups of people do stuff, y'all find a way to know the Jeffrey Epstein thing. Y'all didn't cover the Epstein thing the way y'all covered the Cosby thing or R. Kelly thing. Now Dunn in turn. Now should CNN take him off the air while they investigate it? Yup. He should be off the air. Remember, Don Lemon was saying, you know, the Cosby Show's still on the air. Maybe they should take the Cosby Show off the air until they get an investigation. You know, why would these women wait till this time? That's the story they kept saying. That was the narrative. Why would these women come forth now? It don't matter. Y'all think like how somebody at a certain age they can't be evil or lie. Y'all think when somebody getting their 60s or something and they claim to be a victim or they can't lie. Don Lemon and a lot of these Negroes sat back the last 5 years and gave ammunition. Then you know the whole Me Too movement, everybody's talking about who's in jail for the Me Too movement. Bill Cosby. They finna do the same thing to R. Kelly. Harvey Weinstein walking around. They got more evidence on Weinstein than ever on Cosby. Whole thing with R. Kelly started. He's talking about they had grown women. When they realized that he gave them, see, let's go back and rehash something that happened 20-something years ago. Then all the people started criticizing. The whole thing with Michael Jackson, you came out and said something. Instead of you sitting there saying, you know what? Why now? Why now? I've never heard a reporter say, why now? Y'all go out there, y'all hear a story from another network or somebody written it online and say, let's go talk about this. He one-sided. I watched Don when he had panels where they go into white communities and talk to them, and they may have one or two brothers and sisters that are afraid to speak their mind. You get these talking head Negroes that get on your show, and they too afraid to say anything. The politics, entertainment, or just in general. Remember, Don Lemon don't want to come into a black community. Remember, with the Ferguson, how he made the community look, how he distorted the community. Ooh, this smoking weed. It's about marijuana down here, remember? Go back when he was talking about Trayvon Martin. He was dissing Trayvon Martin and trying to use Bill Cosby, but I also criticized Cosby at the time. I said, Cosby's going to watch, he's going to come back and bite him on his rib. Little did I know, two short years later, that he was going to come start going after the old man. Cosby is in jail right now. Every legal thing that been used for everybody else has been dismissed for him because Don Lemon gave cover to him. Yes, Matt Lawler talked to the white chick. He talked to one. But they didn't talk to all of them because they said we don't want to stack the deck. We don't want to be criticized later on the line. Don Lemon they kept. And Don Lemon, once Don Lemon did it, Melissa S. Perry followed suit. Joy Reid, which I all criticized. And none of y'all out like, Harvey, you wrong about them. They're good people. They just want to get to the fab, man. Okay? Y'all better start paying attention to them. These Negroes, they'll cut their throat, their own throat to get ahead. Not somebody else, their own throat to get ahead. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to play it to a stereotype. Let's just say Don Lemon did do it. Because, you know, as I said before, gay people, gay men in particular, I ain't saying gay women don't do it, because gay women can be aggressive too. But gay men, I'm speaking about gay men, they don't know when to stop. So what have Don, because we see Don Lemon get drunk on TV before. Him and that white chick, I can't think of her name, she's in the daytime. And he's getting drunk. He's getting really drunk with them. I mean, he can't hold his liquor. So if that guy, and I guarantee he's a white dude. But then again, he might mess with the brothers on the slide. But I guarantee he's a white dude. If it's a white dude, I hope to God he destroy your career, Don. And y'all gonna say, oh, Harvey, that's being petty. Yeah, he helped destroy Bill Cosby's reputation. He helped convict Cosby in the court of public opinion, and you guys hide behind journalism. I'm a reporter. Don, you older than me. You 10 years, 11 years older than me. You remember back in the day how the media back in the day was stacking the stories against our people. And even if you don't remember that, you did go to school. You studied journalism. You do know in the 80s when they was writing articles, it was often one-sided. You from the South, but then again, he from Louisiana. He down there. We know how some Louisiana brothers and sisters get down, especially if they have a certain skin tone. But I know you're like, all right, we're making a generalization. I said some. I don't speak in absolutes, but let's just keep it real. Don Lemon, for the last 10 years or more, has been saying it. Like I said, Don used to work in the media market in which I live. He worked in the Chicago media over at NBC. Good old Channel 5, WMAQ. And he was a rat then. Most of the people you see on TV have come to Chicago. Robin Meade used to work with Don Lemon. Yeah, Robin Meade. little small, big chest thing on that robbing the company. They are part of the Time or whatnot. Excuse me, not Time Warner. AT&T now. AT&T owns CNN and DC Comics and Warner Brothers in partnership with CBS over at the CW. Yeah. Robin Meade, Elizabeth Vargas, Chris Wallace. Yo, Fox, he's worked at CBS in Chicago back in the day. Lester Holt, Ginger Z, Paula Ferris, Tamron Hall, Roland Martin, all these people that worked in Chicago Media Market at some point. So we knew they shtick before y'all. I knew before y'all. That's why when he was on, they had regulated Saturday, I said, doggone, she want to get that head position. Because Roland, like Roland was going to get it. Because was that T.J. Holmes and that Tony, I forget the other brother that was there. They was all in competition done. Say, I got to stand out from the crowd. Oh, let me come out and talk about my gayness. And all of a sudden, everybody like, what? This black man is open gay. I remember they was talking about on TV. Like, it was braver, dog, than a black man. I'm like, y'all, man, come on, man. You ain't the first gay brother you saw on TV. He won't be the last. And I said, so somehow, talking about your sexual preference is a good thing. Well, guess what? I eat pussy. So do I get a job somewhere? Do I get a reward? I mean, I'm being dead serious. I don't mean to be crass, but I'm serious. I mean, hey, I'm straight. I like females. I mean, come on. He got promoted because they know a gay black man, they know what kind of person they get. And I just keep it real. And Don Lemon's he's done everything in his power. So now his comments come back, which I told y'all was gonna. I told you so. I told you so. And I'm praying to God that he did it. Then y'all can say that's wrong. Because he helped destroy other brothers' reputations on his show. He sat in front of a mixed company and he talked to black men like he corrected other brothers. Don't say that. Like a Roland, like, I don't like when you use the word cool and this other. You don't get to tell us what to say, how to feel. You Negroes got a platform, you got a voice, and you waste it. And Don sat there and for years when he had Donald Trump on his show, Donald. Then when Donald got office and said, I don't need CNN anymore, y'all go every night. Him and Chris Cuomo. Yeah, Anderson Cooper. You guys gave Donald Trump a wide berth, but y'all sat there systematically destroyed Bill Cosby. That stuff with Bishop Eddie Long was going on. Y'all was talking about it all doing it. I'm like, y'all don't talk about the Catholic Church this way. The whole deal, R. Kelly came out, Don Lemon was making remarks. I want to see Don Lemon call out Gloria Allred. Why is Gloria Allred always there when a black man is in trouble? Won't do that. You had them on a show, allow them to say whatever they want. You let these sisters get on there. When HNL had Shazad Ali on there with Dr. Drew, and she was pointing out stuff. She was calling out to left and right. They said, don't bring that woman back on TV no more. Because then they're going to get brothers want to come on TV and start speaking about our community. They don't want cats like us on TV. Because Don Lemon and them led this charge to destroy Bill Cosby, any other well-known black man. This Me Too movement is hypocrisy. There are a lot of women pushing back against this. Harvey Weinstein went and got a lawyer from Chicago, a white woman who's anti. You'd be surprised how many women are anti-Me Too movement. And when Trump picked that judge, a lot of them stopped coming out saying, yeah, this movement went too far. When that Indian dude got accused by that white woman, what's her name? Ashley Banfield come out. She was lectured, but when it's a black man, y'all assume guilt. This is why when I tell you this country is still racist, but when you got black folk aid and giving color, like, wait a minute, how does he get the benefit of that? But brothers, y'all assume. I mean, they brought Todd Bridges last year. The whole thing with Michael Jackson, Don Lemon was participating. I'm like, wait a minute, the man been dead 10 years. It's known that Say Chuck and Wade, whatever his name is, was on a mission to get some of that money when they couldn't be a part of of the estate. Now they saying Michael Jackson is a bad guy. Don Lemon, he could easily get a story and told. They never tell those parts of the story. The truth is always out there for everybody to consume, but they never talk about it. Now, Don, you about to get your nigga moment. I hope they destroy him. I hope they do like I hope there be other dudes that pop up because we know Don Lemon. What I think of when Don get drunk and he done it on TV. Because I'm gonna tell you, if I was a lawyer, I would just play the clips of CNN when he got drunk. This is the same inebriated Mr. Lemon that we see every year on the New Year's. This is the same Mr. Lemon that my client had to deal with that night. Well, why did your client wait so long? Because they was afraid that nobody would believe. Because Mr. Lemon has a bully platform. We see what Mr. Lemon has done to other people. Yeah, there's ways you can get him. And I know y'all can say, "Dad, you wrong for wishing bad on him." Remember, this dude gave these women, they didn't vet them. Their stories kept changing. He gave them a platform to accuse somebody. I know y'all can say, "Well, Harvey, what if Cosby did do it?" And I've done videos saying that. But if you go back and see these women, their stories are never consistent. And one thing they all have done that should just speak value, they never said that to anybody. And they said, "Well, Cosby is powerful." Cosby, you know when Cosby was powerful in the 1960s and said he's married. Hell, he ain't even powerful today. If Cosby had that kind of juice, and he wouldn't be sitting in jail right now. He'd been out like Weinstein on different appeals and stuff. And they threw cases out for Weinstein. They didn't throw cases out. Matter of fact, Gloria Allred and her daughter Lisa Bloom went to the former governor of California, Jerry Brown, where they could change different statutes and stuff. They're the ones pushing that you should be a statute of limitation. Yes, it should be a statute of limitation. You're going to wait until somebody get in their 80s and say, "Oh, by the by, 40-something years ago, 50-something years ago, this person did something to me." No proof, just hearsay. Cosby's in jail based on hearsay. The court of public opinion, of course, white folks going to say that Cosby's guilty. Then you have black folk stop. Yeah, he gave a speech about the Brown case. A lot of y'all have not heard. But you have people like Don Lemon who have sat back and exploited his community, exploited black men and women, but especially black men. I've been yelling for years. I said this dude's rotten. I said, Don Lemon, he might be a predator. Remember I said that years ago? I said, when he acted like he trying to just really transfer. I mean, I'm going to push this on somebody else. See, then he take him off air until an investigation is done. Let's see if Joy Reid they're going to say, you know, if senior personality Don Lemon was, they ain't going to do it. But they sat back and they destroyed. I mean, Don Lemon sat on TV and talked about Kanye West like a dog in front of people. Talking about R. Kelly, Chris Brown, Ray Rice. Remember what was going on? Yeah, man, he hit women. You know what did. Remember when Kevin Hart, whether you like these people or not, he was out there passing judgment on them, just like Matt Long on NBC. Passing judgment on Cosby and them. Turn around and he was a big horn dog. He had a damn buzzer. When Buzz went in with a door and lock behind his desk, and he was messing with them. But they let him go about his business. Let's move this. I didn't see them do anything. No in-depth stories on them. But see, Don Lemon's not a straight black man. He's not gonna look at it from a brother's perspective. I'm not gonna say, what about the guys in Hollywood? They Hollywood Negroes. Kenan Thompson, all them they bought. There's a reason why they never interviewed the average black man in America about this kind of guy. We would say, you know what, innocent, perfect guilt. He said, just because somebody said it happened don't mean it happened. Too many brothers like myself been at work and we've been harassed by female co-workers. And usually white female co-workers. Yeah, every now and then you get sisters that flirt, and some of these sisters ain't got up on this thing now. That's why it behooves y'all to go out and watch that Brian Banks film. Support it. You know if they ain't promoting that film hard, ain't pushing it, because it tells the story of an innocent young black man their system screwed over. When the whole thing with Brian Banks went down, CNN barely talked about it. When the Dorian Hoyce thing went on, CNN didn't talk about it at all. If you didn't watch our videos or even watch Roland TV show on TV One, y'all would never know about Daniel Hoyce. But Don Lemon spoke up and talked about these white women. Well, what did Cosby do? That's why in my videos I made sure I mention his name. A lot of people forget that Don Lemon was out there, a part of that initial crew. Kenan Thompson, Don Lemon, Helmer Burris, and them. Michael Eric Dyson. That Whitmore dude, I think he was on Comedy Central. Yeah, took Stephen Colbert. He was another one. The one that was at the president when President Obama was giving the last correspondence dinner, and he used the word nigger doing the thing. You remember that dude? D.L. Hughley, and they all karma gonna come back and bite him on the ass. I'm telling you right now, if Don Lemon didn't do it, I hope he gets ran to the ring like everybody else do. If he did do it, karma find a collar with his ass. I can't stand Don Lemon. I think he's an opportunist. I think he's self-hating. Don Lemon is compromised. You know, Don Lemon never do stories where he really talk about white folk and their transgressions. It's like the only way he want to talk about is Trump. Every night, Trump. But you was interviewing him on your show. He used to come on Don Lemon's show. I guess we forgot about that, right? Hey, Don. Oh, how you doing, Donald? You know, you're right, blah, blah, blah. When Donald Trump didn't need him anymore, when he had to pretend like he's super conservative, all of a sudden, CNN come and attack me every night. Don Lemon like a hurt boyfriend. Don Lemon said that they have destroyed Bill Cosby, and they talk crap about Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown. We seem to forget all about that. And whether y'all like Kanye West or not, Kanye West do have a documented mental issues. Don was talking about Kanye like a dog. Y'all don't believe me? Type in Don Lemon talk about Kanye West and listen to his tone. Or Chris Brown or Ray Rice, all the black guys that have been in the press the last 10 years. Watch Don Lemon tone. Then go to compare him to the white guys that got in trouble. Totally different tone. But I warned y'all for the years. I said, Don Lemon, his conflict is going to come back and bite him. I said, he's going to get accused of something, and we're going to see how the media react. Now, the thing is, the media may not react to Don Lemon like they react to other black men. But remember, he is a gay brother, and they need gay black men. They need to keep them in their back pocket, give them cover. So he may not get the coverage that I'm hoping he get. But if it's proven true, he should lose his job. He should go to jail. Remember, he said Cosby should go to jail. Remember, Torrey was all the time about all that stuff. Torrey got caught. Torrey, you don't see him on TV no more. Wanna know why? And it's up to us and on those of us who are black on social media, whether it be YouTube, whatever, to keep talking about this. Because I swore up there, I said, the moment Don Lemon get in trouble, I ain't gonna stop talking. So better believe it, it's gonna be a barrage of videos come out, and I'm gonna hopefully if I get a chance, I'll make a Black Junction video. I'm really gonna have some words for Don Lemon over there. Cause I gotta be careful with YouTube. You don't want to get accused of hate speech. But all I've said that was said is provable. Don Lemon contributed the last almost 10 years in destroying the image of our community. If it wasn't Trayvon, it was Ferguson. West Ferguson, it was Mike Brown. He the one that gave those women an opening to go on TV. Because I'm going to tell you something. If those women had actual proof and they kept behind the scenes, my tone probably been different about the Cosby situation. But when they sit up there and they got me and told their story, I started to listen. And then they go on other forums and then they get back to CNN. I'm like, wait a minute, they didn't say that. The dates and the places have changed. Janet Dixon got paid the week before last. And we know she has a reputation. We know how she feel about black folk. Tom Mesereau said that he never seen nothing like it. He said it was stacked against Cosby. All the lawyers that Cosby said, they said they ain't seen nothing like this. But like I say, Helmer Burris got a little taste of it. He came to Paul. They booed his ass. I'm telling you, Helmer Burris ain't been on a lot of TV. He'll pop up here and there in a movie. But When they get tired of terrible birds, when they found he said he did some wrong, they gonna cut his throat. Rumor has it they bring up stuff about Eddie Murphy again. Some of you out here think that they need you. They don't. Well, they need you to help keep each other at bay. Look, I've said this before in commentaries. I don't lean to the left, or don't lean to the right. But when I see a black person get attacked, I don't care what your political affiliation, I don't care what your sexual identity is, I'm going to call it out. You can never get me sit down on the front of a camera on a room, a bunch of Caucasians, and badmouth my people when I know our histories are complex. Do I have criticisms of some of the things our people do? Yeah. But you'll never see me on CNN or The View or The Talk. You'll never see me sitting there badmouth. I'm not a fan of Tamara Hall, but if somebody said want me to talk about her, I wouldn't do that. There's one thing I'm talking to y'all, and I know people say, well, people still come over, but I'm not having that discussion with them per se. And you guys know it's nuance. What's that saying? I can talk about my mama, but you can't? That's basically what I'm trying to say. Dumb women set back, they hide behind their anchors and reporters. No, these never gossip. The news means never gossip when you sit there and break it down. That's why shows like Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood, TMZ, they thrive. Entertainment Tonight been on since I was a short. Access Hollywood has been on for what, 20 years now? 22 years now? No, 23 years. Extra been on what, 25 years now? Let's just 22. Access 22, Extra about 25 now. Entertainment Night, damn near 40 years almost. And these shows sit back and they get off on seeing black celebrities get embarrassed or make fools of themselves. But they like other blacks to deliver the bad news. They can hide behind it. And dumb women, they hid behind. All of a sudden, dumb women start popping up on The View, Wendy Williams, The Talk. I'm like, why all of a sudden dumb women everywhere? Because the moment he came out and said he was gay, they're like, oh, we cool now. Because they know how some black gays get down, especially if they date outside the community. And for some reason, we never criticize that. I know that's not all, but we know. Dumb women don't call out white racism in the gay community. Notice he never talks about that. Everything's directed at us. But remember, he was initially a part of that Cosby takedown, and now he's getting accused of a sex crime. Now, if he didn't do it, and the person who was accusing him lying, then I hope karma come back on your ass. But to be honest with you, I hope to God that even if he's lying or not, I hope that Don Lemon feels it. And people like Don Lemon need to understand how I feel to be accused. And I wonder if he's sitting back like, God damn, what brought this on? I wonder if Cosby popped in his head. Somebody need to remind him. You was out there assuming those women was innocent. Well, why would they say something now? That's the first thing all y'all get in the media. Why would they say something now? What's the purpose of it? Cosby's right now fighting in court to see if they get those cases because they were stacked against him. If it was anybody else, Cosby would have been out. Look at the woman that admitted that got Emmett Till killed. She admitted she lied. I don't see y'all running out here saying this, that chick need to be in jail, locked away. First thing people say, well, she's an old woman. Well, Cosby's an old man. He's blind. But yet they got him classified as a damn predator. They try to do everything except with Cosby's fortune. Eddie Griffin said it. He said they don't want black men to leave clean. That's why I had told y'all too. I said if it started on Michael Jackson, no, Harvey, he was clear. I said, nah, they're gonna start on. And what do they use? A black woman. And I'm gonna tell you something. Look what Gayle King did. A black woman. Notice it's these gay black men and these big ass old black women. that grew up on that women's movement crap. They're the ones who sit on TV and talk about other blacks in mixed company and keep all this drama going. Don Lemon, I'm telling you right now, I hope to God Don Lemon's found guilty. I hope that people talk about this like they talked about Cosby and how Don set that gay women a week. He brought them all on his show. I'm like, why is this dude doing this? The man ain't had a day in court. You stacking the court of public opinion against him. It's bad enough that Amy Poehler and Tina Fey and all of them cracking jokes. TV shows have been cracking on Cosby. The Family Guy. There was a show with Jenna Elfman, her and Rachel from I forget the last name, but SNL. They even made a Cosby reference. I went for Josie Phillips, Jimmy Walker. I went for Michael J. White. I went for all these Negroes that set up here. Tom Joyner, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. I went for all of them to get their nigga moment. I waited for it all to happen, but Don, you the one that legitimized it. See, there's one thing Hannibal Buress talking about it, and people talking about it for a few days. But you went and all of them gave him a platform. And once you gave him a platform, that's when they would say, okay, Don Lemon is out there doing this. See, a lot of times in the black community, and that's what Cosby was saying there's a lot of the stuff that's self-inflicted. We do each other wrong, and then when something happens, we yell racism. Now, I wonder, I got money, this is a white dude. I could be wrong. But it's like a white dude because you wait all this time to say something. I'm gonna leave a link that you guys can read it, but I'm telling you, if it was a white dude that said it, done, he going to pay. And this might be the thing that CNN kick him off CNN. And if he get kicked off CNN, all men are dancing again. But then watch him become black all of a sudden. Watch him start talking about racism in media. Talking about being accused, falsely accused. He said he didn't do it. Cosby said he didn't do it, and you still get a women platform. So I know that a lot of y'all been waiting for this commentary, but like I said, I told y'all, I said, he gonna get his. I said, what if he get accused of the same thing? Let's see how the media do it. But then the media might give him a wide berth because he's gay. But then again, they didn't give Jesse Smollett a wide berth because the media can lie. We don't believe a white guy would have did this to a black man. Everybody said something, had something to say. But what I'm like, I live here. I'm like, I know what the weather was like. It wasn't that Arctic blast, but I ain't gonna go up to that one. Like I said, gay men are known to be more aggressive in certain situations. They don't like to take no for an answer. And then when somebody knock them on the ass, you're homophobic, you gay bashing. Don said all that time talking all that shit about Kevin Hart, all that stuff about Kanye, Chris Banner, Ray Rice, and Bill Cosby and them. Now you get accused of it. See, you have to understand, Don, you still a black man in America. Straight or gay, you still gonna be looked upon as a predator. Welcome to the club. You handkerchief head mother. Oh, I can't stand this bastard. I'm telling you, I can't stand him. But if I was that person's lawyer, I'm gonna say, pull him in for CNN. We see when he's inebriated, what he's like. Case closed. Then Don gonna sit there. He gonna wonder how long he gonna be at CNN. And then if CNN get rid of him, what media market he gonna go back? He can't go to the big media market because let me tell you the whole purpose of leaving the media market, go to cable news or national news. So look at Tamron Hall. Nobody was calling Tamron Hall to come back to the Chicago media market. Who are they gonna fire? I mean, here it is. They got rid. At CBS they could have said, "Hey, Tamron, in Chicago, we replaced one of our lead anchors with another." No, they got somebody cheap. She didn't go work in the New York media market or Los Angeles because everybody know once you go up and you come down, it's a big fall. And a lot of people embarrassed. That's why some people, they go into business, they disappear. Well, I used to be on TV. I don't see you on TV. What happened to you? Oh, I decided to go up, but no, you couldn't get a job. So Don Lemon better be. He better not take. He better take this shit serious because I'm telling you, I'm gonna be laughing my ass off. But actually, I'm when I heard about it this afternoon, I'm like, Get out of here. I'm like, and I've been saying it for years. I said, when is karma gonna come back? Ironically, I said they're gonna give him sex for sexual harassment. I said it. I said they're gonna get him because I said he's still a black man. He's a gay black man, but he's still a black man. Now it could be another black person that did it to him, or could actually have evidence or actually been assaulted. And I'm gonna work on the pretense that he did do it. He didn't get Bill Cosby benefit doubt because he used Cosby and threw him under the bus and helped take him down. And then hide behind, I'm a journalist. No, man, you just like everybody else that been poisoned to our people. If some of y'all was to go back and read what some of these people wrote about black folk back in the day, like Brent Merceburger, when the brothers did the 68 Olympics, they did the Black Power Salute. It was called Nazi Stormtroopers by Brent Merceburger. But when I was growing up, people never thought Brent. My father used to say, yeah, you know why Brent Merceburger. That's like, wonder why. Like, yeah, why you don't like him? He said he's racist. Then when I found out what he did, my father said that's why he said he can listen to him. He had to turn the TV because he had called them brothers Nazi stormtroopers, calling black men Nazis. And you know, ever since then, you've been equating black folks to the Nazis, the anti-Semitism. Because these sports and these news anchors, they have a microphone. Or they got a pen and pad. They got the print. They got the newspapers and magazines. They can write what they want. And now these blogs, nobody's checking now to see any accuracy. That's why I tell people, don't buy everything I tell you. I'd rather you go do your own research sometimes. I could be way off. Like today, so my son said, Harvey, we think you got this one wrong. And they said, I think they think you misunderstood what was being said. I went back and read it. I'm like, oh, I got it wrong. And I came out and admitted that I got it wrong. I didn't try to hide it. I didn't need a video to try to get counts. I took it down. Like, oh, my bad. See, if Don Lemon came out and say, hey, we misreported, or we didn't give Mr. Cosby or these other people the benefit of the doubt. We just came out and just declared them to be guilty. Now he's feeling it. And it'd be funny if other people come out and say, yeah, Don Lemon, it's just because usually when one come out nowadays, it'd be 10 or 15 come out. And I want to use the same standard that Don and them set up. Saying, well, you know, the number of people come out, it got to be true. I'm hoping to God that this cat he catches nigga moment. Because this dude been saying shit for the last 15 years, especially the last 10 years over at CNN, but the last 15 years, particularly in Chicago, he's to make little digs and try to be cute about it. But it wasn't as out here to catch it real quick. I'm like, this mother so that's how he got with CNN. That's how a lot of these people was able to leave the Chicago media market. That's the whole none. I don't trust none of them. Anybody that worked in this market that now you see as a daily presence, I'm like, we watched them. We knew Lester Holt and them when they had mustaches and shit. We knew Don Lemon before he went through these various stages that's trying to figure out what haircut would make him look younger than what he is. We were suspicious about Don Lemon years ago, and now he's getting accused of something. I mean, I told y'all, I said, shit, I can't wait till the karma come back and it hit him. And God let a lot of these people, as I talked all this crap the last few years, karma come back on him. Now he could be innocent, but that don't mean. But I'm gonna treat him like they did Cosby. We're gonna assume that he did it. I'm curious about the videos. I'm gonna see the comments. I'm gonna see out here because he deserves wherever he get. Don Lemon sat back and he threw the community under the bus the last decade on CNN. But he helped give color to them and go after Cosby. He was one of those people that did the Tiger Woods thing. And I'm not a fan of Tiger Woods. Remember, he's with a white man. He's compromised. Just like y'all say when brothers get with white women, or brothers say when black women get with white men. That's usually the same standard for the gay community. But the gay community has shown their colors. Black gays have shown how far they're willing to go. The criticism y'all have for Justice and all that, have it for Don Lemon. Don Lemon sit in front of the cameras every day talking about what's right and what's wrong, and judging other black folk in front of mixed company that he's accused of. Let's see what CNN do then. Let's see if more people come out to war on their ass. And let's see if CNN pull his ass off TV.